Hey team, so I want to make a video because I've been reading a lot lately and I've been getting into this series, and I made a post about it earlier, but this time I'm not going to share the name of the series, and if you know it, guess it. If you don't know it, let me know and I can get you more details. But so anyway, I'm reading this series and it is about the Rapture. And the Rapture happened here on Earth. It's it's Christian-based novels, and I think it's really interesting because the Rapture has occurred, and all of the characters that are left were left after the Rapture. So they were not the true believers, and they were, or they were of another denomination. So it's an interesting story. It kind of is the story after the Rapture, where the Antichrist rises and 7 years of tribulations, and then the coming of Jesus and the new world, and everyone who is a believer is taken at that point. But I just think it's been really interesting just because it's a whole series, so they really kind of hash out the different tribulations from the Bible. And if you've seen my videos, you know that I didn't really grow up with faith. I was kind of agnostic to secular. I tend to be more secular as a person. I believe in separation of church and the state, and so it's I do believe in freedom of religion, and I like to pull from all religions. And in these novels, that was kind of the overall goal of the Antichrist, was to unite the world but they were using malicious, underhanded means, and they're killing off people, and whatever they needed to do to get to the top and to unite the world. But were they really uniting the world, or was it just like a dictator taking over and who knows what? But so it was mildly dystopian in that regard. But it's really interesting. I think that it's and I've read a few Christian literary works, a couple of romance novels, and I read most of the Old Testament, and I'm maybe a quarter of the way through the New Testament. I've read different passages here and there. I did join a Bible study later in life, and so I have bounced back and forth, but I couldn't tell you where I've been per se. So it's kind of been an interesting journey to read these books, just because it's not something that I grew up with. I talked to a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I did have some friends, obviously, who were religious, and they got confirmed, and so I've seen their photos, and all those like their figurines, and they've had the jewelry, and but most of my friends were pretty secular as well. They didn't really talk about it a lot, their actual beliefs, those value systems, and of course I believe that even though I wasn't raised with Christianity in the forefront, I do believe that that its foundations are still very much a part of who I am, and I feel like they're kind of perennialistic ideas, a lot of them, that you can see like through a lot of perennial works. So I feel like that is still my basis, and I grew up celebrating Christmas and Easter, but there was no religion in it. So very little religion in it, I would say. So just nice stories, but yeah, so I'm really enjoying these novels, though. I just think it's so interesting to talk about those dynamics and the battle of good versus evil. And I'm big into environmentalism, and so I think it's interesting to think of trying to save the planet. That's kind of the gears I've been putting into motion through environmentalism, and then this is more of the philosophical and philanthropical, philanthropical perspectives. So I clearly can't say that word. I don't know if I know that the conjugation of that word that I'm trying to go for right now, but philanthropical. So, but philanthropical. Okay, I think we landed on it. Ends in tropical? No. Oh no. But anyway, I've really been enjoying these books, and I think that it's so interesting to think about, and they're talking about rebuilding this new world. Right now I'm just about halfway through the series. Well, no, maybe a quarter of the way. I'm not sure. I'll have to look again, but they're trying to kind of, we're at the tribulations where the Christians, the believers, are cut off from commerce and industry, while the Antichrist and the unbelievers kind of take over that part of the world. And so they're talking about rebuilding kind of an underground system to take care of the good seekers, and so I think that I kind of see that notion in today's entrepreneurship, and trying to move the world forward. And obviously those green initiatives, those philanthropical initiatives, have been coming more to the forefront in industry for however many years, and they're becoming more and more important, because obviously you being mindful consumers and trying to promote the right ideas and the right ideologies to move the planet forward, to move humanity forward. And so I kind of like that element of it. I think that it's just interesting to kind of look at the world as it is now. And these books were written, probably 20 some years ago. So it is an older series, but it's just really interesting. So I'm enjoying it. Let me know if you want to know more details. I'd love to talk about it more in depth, talk about the characters, and but if you haven't read it, then I don't want to be like, oh, I thought this about this character and I thought that about this other character. But it's just interesting themes. So just wanted to hash it out. So let me know thoughts.